.7 The Cave, Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens. It is Dark Side of the Stream, episode number 64 today.
I'm feeling very positive. I've rigged this up with, well, there it goes again.
I didn't bang the desk.
With a tape roll so that
we're real professional.
So
obviously, someone has not gotten a really good camera stand yet.
Man,
but
my light's not even on. Can you please?
Oh yeah.
Lights, please. Lights, producer.
Oh God. So
lights, please, Mr. Producer.
You guys think Jay's like easygoing guy? You won't find a bigger diva in your entire life. If he doesn't get it exactly the way he wants it.
What's going on here? Are we turning sideways? Is that what's going on now?
No, I don't know what you're doing.
Well, you're bigger than me. There. Trying to be fair.
You said it, not me,
Just
brother.
Trying to be fair.
But you guys all heard Jay said it. I'm bigger than he is. It's Dark Side of the Stream.
Is that good? I can't see anything at all, but is that good for me?
Yeah, we'll use that. You got a little tape dispenser there. I can see. No problem.
The entire
The light's good. That's all that matters.
This
is episode 64, and this was my pick.
What are we doing for 69? We should really start planning.
Hopefully,
I don't know. Hopefully it falls on my day.
You'll be 65. I'll be 66.
Hopefully it falls on my day.
You're 67. I'm 68. You're 69.
Thank you, Jesus.
Well, hopefully it'll be around Christmas too. So that'll be good.
It'll be an 80s rock thing.
Well,
sure.
We'll figure it out. So yeah, this was my pick this week, and we did a documentary called The Raincoat Killer.
It's weird.
Based upon a serial killer that happened in the early 2000s in South Korea and Seoul, to be specific. And it's a pretty crazy story because, you always think of serial killers only being really in Western cultures, America, and then, of course, in like London, England, kind of maybe a symptom of capitalism, if you will.
They bootlegged it like they bootleg everything else.
Dude, it definitely wasn't just specific to Western cultures, because the Eastern cultures have had their share of serial killers over the years. And when this one popped up in South Korea, the cops didn't have any clue what they were doing.
It was
absolutely no clue up until this point. And they were very specific about this. Cops didn't talk about things they were looking for. They only talked about things that they had solved. So if there was a death, chances are you might not know anything about it until after they caught the killer.
Yeah.
It's not like around here where something happens and it's like, oh my God, boom, 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 boom.
Everybody knows.
Cops didn't talk about it unless they could solve it, because obviously it's a political situation.
They didn't want to scare the people.
They didn't want to scare everyone, and they also didn't want to look like idiots. But you know what? In this one, they actually had to go to the public to ask for their help, and they looked like a bunch of dummies, not because of just one thing, but of multiple things. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Dark Side of the Stream, right here on 104.7 The Cave. .7 The Cave, Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio, episode 64. This is Dark Side of the Stream, discussing The Raincoat Killer. Now, before we get into the story of this was one segment I wanted to devote to how bad the dub was on this show.
Yeah, it's
definitely produced in South Korea.
The voiceovers were
the dub is
garbage.
awful.
Yeah, it was bad.
Dude, consider that I watch a lot of Kung Fu movies, and there's a lot of great Kung Fu movies that have awful dubs. And we can get into 7 Deadly Poisons, all that stuff.
But it made it worth it because the police chief's glasses were so fly.
Dude, they were the best thing in the world. The police chief who has these big, giant, like aviator, purple lens glasses.
Straight Mac Daddy, dude.
Man, they look like a cool dude.
And the stuff that he would say, too, is hilarious.
He was hilarious. And he got fired eventually because they let this guy go. But before we get to that, yes, the dub was awful, like comically bad at some points. And if you watch the subtitles and you listen to the dub, which is what I did, is just the way it was set up. Some of the times, like the dub didn't match the subtitles. So who was right? Was it the dub? Or
I believe it. It was definitely poor voice acting. It was
bad. I mean, it was overacting too.
Well, it was basically unwatchable for me, really.
It was so bad.
Very slow, very...
Did you ever watch Iron Chef America?
No.
Okay, so the guy who is like the Iron Chef who brings it all, I swear that dude was one of the voiceover guys. I swear he was.
Could have been.
It was so bad. It was so bad. so
Sounded like
bad.
they had some Hawaiian guy for one of the
There was,
voices.
I sounded like that too, but again, it was the worst overacting dub work I've ever heard in my
We're not
life.
selling this very well, by the way. That right now we're not making this very appealing to the
No,
people.
it's not. And I just wanted to get this out there and do a segment where we just talked about the dub because it's so bad, and you really have to put your nose down and just plow through.
Netflix is
how
going to sue
awful it
us
is.
with a cease and assist order. Stop talking
Who
about
cares?
the
It's bad. It's
crappy
awful.
movies.
And honestly, I will go when we do the review of this and we talk about what we thought
Isn't
about
that
it.
what we're doing?
Well, kind of. When we do our final thoughts in the last segment, we'll talk about that. But honestly, the story to me was crazy enough that I was able to plow through the awful dub.
It was wacky. And there was a couple wacky things. We probably want to get into that next segment. A couple of wacky things about this guy. But he got away, and they found him, which was crazy.
We'll get into the rest of this guy known as the Raincoat Killer. This is Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave. .7 The Cave. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio. Dark Side of the Stream, episode 64, discussing the Raincoat Killer.
Bang, bang, Raincoat Silverhand.
I never
goes down upon their head.
Bang, bang. I love that song.
It's a special person to kill somebody with a hammer in the head.
And he was prolific at it. It started with a bunch of really rich people that were getting offed, and women more specifically. They didn't even really know what kind of tool he was using. But eventually this guy known as the Raincoat Killer, he started with rich people. Then he would go after prostitutes, and the sex scene in South Korea is very, very rampant. And a lot of times they got into that too, about how, former cops would just go become brothel owners because they were, kind of protecting them. And then they're like, hey, I can make some money. So that was going on.
The underworld.
So at first he was kind of like going after these rich people, but then he started going after hookers. And
easy targets.
And they were easier because no one would miss them. And that was until one of the former police officers who ended up running a brothel started noticing some of his girls were missing. So he contacted a detective who then contacted another who I guess couldn't do it. At this point, the cops had no clue what they were doing.
No clue.
Early on, districts in Seoul didn't want to work together, but some guys were like, hey, these might be related. No, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, eventually they were like, okay, you're right. We do have a serial killer on our hands in the entire city. So they started kind of working together. They were doing 24-hour stakeouts, sitting in cars, just in streets. They didn't know what they were looking for. They were just looking for anything that was out of the ordinary. The break came when a former police officer who was then running a brothel said, my girls are going missing. I don't know what's going on. They got a hold of a detective.
Well, there was a call from the missing girl, one of the missing girls' phone.
Asking
for another girl. That was a big screw up on this dude, this killer's behalf.
He was smart in the sense that he knew how to dispose of the body. The whole kimchi
he makes
thing.
them a kimchi, dog.
Well, he would go to human anatomy.
It made me hungry for kimchi.
Oh God, not me. He would go to human anatomy classes to understand how to dismember bodies easier. Got really good at it.
Got extras of his own body.
Like they were talking like he was pulling this off in like 45 minutes or something. It's crazy.
Hey man, if you've ever dismembered a body, it's a lot of work.
Put them in bags, throw bad kimchi in there.
Some bad kimchi in
there.
Go
bury him all in the hills. And there was 20 plus women in there. So anyway, the brothel owner calls the cops. This guy basically gets a phone call from who they think is the killer. They meet up with a girl. They do a stakeout. He walks up to her. Basically, he's like, "You're too big." Walks away. Tall. Then calls again for another girl.
Send another girl.
They go set that up, and they eventually arrest this guy. They bring him in.
Wait a minute. They say 5 or 6 of them, and they're trying to restrain this dude.
Oh, yeah. He was just a dude. He was pissed off guy. Anger does a lot of things. Maybe they should take martial art lessons with you.
Officers should take jiu-jitsu. They shouldn't take 5 or 6.
5 or 6 guys to get him down. They get him down. They came to take him to the station. They started interrogating him. I guess his mom and daughter show up to try and coerce.
The dude right out the gate, he's just like, he just straight up tells them that he's the guy.
Yeah,
he's killed all these people.
They're
like, what?
But they bring his mom in there to kind of get more of a confession out of him. She's like, what did he do? And then he tells them, and then she collapsed. She goes to the hospital, faints. It's like a mess. Well, in the process of like getting this dude's story, one cop leaves the room and then another cop leaves the room. And they just leave this guy by himself in this room.
I like the cop that kept smacking him in the head.
Well, that was later on. Yeah. Oh, when they were doing the interrogation. Yeah. They don't play around in Asian countries. When you get arrested, like, dude, that's bad. It's no.
Prepare for the snaps if you get arrested.
It's bad. So anyway, they get this dude, and one cop leaves the room, the other cop leaves the room, and this guy just gets up and walks out.
Yeah, dude just bounces out.
Walks out of the station. Like no one stops him. The other cop comes back. He's like, "Hey, where's the dude? I thought he was with you."
Walked out with no shoes.
It's like
just like when Disneyland.
Who's got the cave car? I thought you had it.
Yep. Just like when Disneyland tried to arrest my buddy, man. The same thing. They told him wait right here, and they went and walked away, and they walked away. Didn't get busted.
Wait a minute.
Come on. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. It was like 7th or 8th grade. They would do a thing in Disneyland where they'd rent the entire park out for schools. And so it was just a bunch of kids running madness in there.
Rich California boy.
And we were in Haunted Mansion ride. And, all of us. And I'm riding. There was some girl. And all of a sudden in the graveyard scene, I see my buddy walking around the graveyard. and he starts peeing on a gravestone.
Oh, no.
And I was like, we're dying laughing. And he hopped in somebody else's little buggy and kept going. Well, at the end, security comes. Hey, you're in big trouble. Stay right here. And they went to go get more security guys. My buddy just walked away. And so I was like, all right, there you go.
Wow. Okay.
Mickey Mouse police work.
Man, you never know what you're going to find. Dark Side of the Stream. We'll give you our conclusion and reviews next on 104.7. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio one more time. This is Dark Side of the Stream discussing the Raincoat Killer. So how many hammers will you give this documentary?
Is this the 4th segment already?
Is it?
I think we're on the 3rd segment.
Are we in the 3rd segment? Hold on.
Don't tell me that Jay's the one.
No, we're on the 4th, buddy.
Right?
You lost count. Oh. Yeah, you lost count. We're on the 4th. I know what I'm doing.
I guess I was abducted by aliens. I lost
I've been here for a long
minutes.
time.
Yeah, you're right. I did just wake
You just woke up. Yes, this is the final. So how many hammers?
How many hammers to the head do I give this one? 2.
2 hammers. Yeah. The story wasn't even intriguing enough.
It was whacked out. The guy's purple shades made it an extra.
That was the only reason this documentary got 2 shades. Well, at least you didn't come here screaming at me saying I wasted your life.
No,
again.
it was just it wasn't all that great. Nothing too crazy.
It was a crazy story. I'm sure the police officers in South Korea learned a lot about profiling serial killers, and this guy's definitely never going to see the light of day. I'd give it probably just a solid 3, just because the dub was so awful. I'd probably give it more. The only reason I gave it a 3 was, yes, the sunglasses are badass, and if you watch it, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. The dub is so bad, but the story in itself is pretty crazy, and what some of the good cops did in this story to catch this guy was pretty unbelievable. They got extremely lucky, though. Had he not been an idiot and called that number trying to get, another prostitute, he could have gone for a lot longer, and he said he would have. He said he would have just kept doing it until someone stopped him.
It's probably better that he made that call.
Well, yeah, obviously for everyone involved. So what is Jay's pick for the next documentary?
Surprise, surprise. I came ill prepared with a choice. But I turned on Hulu the other day, and I just saw like a little screenshot of something that caught my attention and freaked out the missus, by the way. And I think it's called, can you look this up, please? You're my Jamie.
Yeah, producer's on it. Hold on.
You're my producer.
Hold on, producer's
on Hulu. I think it's called For Madmen Only. It looks like it's a documentary, and it's got a really crazy looking dude. So that sparked my interest. It could be complete crap, but let's find out. Is it called For Madmen Only?
I don't know. My Hulu app just crashed for some reason.
Not Hulu, just Google it. You got
For Madmen Only. All right, okay. Hold on. Madmen.
This is what you do when you're a big shot.
Well, if you come in the room, I'm ill prepared, and you don't know what the hell you're going to talk about.
And that's look at that, man.
For Madmen Only. Okay, I see.
Madmen Only. Yeah, freaky looking dude on the cover.
Yeah.
What is it about?
It's about a guy's documentary, or I'm not really sure. It says Comedy Guru Del Close. It doesn't have a lot of Rotten Tomatoes gave it 92.
All right, we're on it. Who knows? We're going down a rabbit hole. We don't know what it's about. We're going in blind.
We don't know. We're going to figure it out. Madmen Only.
We're going in blind.
Which will be episode 65.
That's how I found that Beaver Chronicles. I just clicked on it. The Beaver
Chronicles.
Oh,
I remember that one. Golly, dude. And sometimes these ones that Jay just clicks on end up being just crazy awesome. So For Madmen Only is what we're going to watch next. Dark Side of the Stream. You can
join us.
Download these as a podcast. You can stream it live on Facebook every Thursday at 9 a.m. Again, this is Jay Stevens, Mike the Intern, saying,
if you get arrested in Korea, prepare for slaps.
that's not our tagline.
It could be.
We watch movies so you don't have to.
I thought it was documentaries.